In this video, I'm going to give you a quick guide to the W3 CSS color palette and the color themes. I'm going to be taking this layout here. I've done the layout to make sure it's responsive, and I've done my menu bar. Okay, and the next thing is to work out the color scheme, because these colors I've got at the moment, these are just to help me see where the divs are. This was never really intended to be a color scheme. It's just a quick way to show where the divs are. Now, first things first, go to w3.css, as always. Click on colors in the left-hand menu. Now, these colors have been beautifully designed. They have been inspired by things like post-it notes and the signs from motorways and freeways, and they should work well together. You can make up your own mind about that, but they should work well together. You can use any of these colors together, in fact, and you just have to do it by including a link to the W3 CSS in your head section or at the top of your web page, and then by just using these classes. So W3 pale red, I'll just copy that across, Control C, and I'm going to just paste that in here. So we should see the orange section go to a pale red color. There it is. Okay. So it's very, very easy to use these colors. Now, I would encourage you to think through your design before you start applying colors. Have a clear idea of exactly how you want your website to look. I want mine to be green and orange. It's going to be different shades of green, darker for the header, darker for the footer, and then quite light behind the content. And I'm going to have my orange menu entries and some variations on green in the menu as well. So I can do it like this. Just find a color I like, copy, come over here, and I can find the W3 blue, and I can do the same here. Although these are different divs with different content, we kind of want them to have the same color. Having lots of blocks of different color is a bit of a bad idea in design. Now I'm going to take the green for my big image section, this nice pure green here. I'm going to Control C, copy that, and I'm going to also make that the color of my footer, like so. Okay, so now I've got my page, and if I were to add some content to that, let's just copy and paste to get some content in there. I think that's looking quite nice. I've always liked green. It's probably because I'm Irish, and also because I like nature, but I've always liked the colour green, and green goes well with orange. Complementary colour theory. If you want to know what colours go well together, you could ask your art teacher, Miss Natasha, or you could look up complementary colour theory on the internet. It will tell you pairs of colours that go well together. Now, this is good, but if I wanted to change the colour of my page, I would have to change the colour class for every single element on my page. There is a much better way. It's called colour themes. So I'm going to show you how that works now. So that was just colours. Let's go down here to themes. Now the beauty of this is that if I wanted to change the colour of my website, I could do the entire thing by changing just the link to the theme style sheet. So you can see that here we have the link to the W3 CSS style sheet. This is the same as this link here. It's just they're using a relative link, and this here is an absolute link. So that's that link, and then we need to include this link as well to the actual theme style sheet. So copy, Control C, and we're going to add that in here. Now notice that because this is an absolute file path and this is a relative file path, we need to, this style sheet here, this is not contained on my Google Drive, so therefore I need to include a link to it on the W3 CSS drive. So I take the whole path up to, but not including the file name of the style sheet, and I'll simply paste that in front of the style sheet there, thus completing the link to the external style sheet for the themes. Now I'm going to go for theme Indigo, which is a blue, but I can change that back to green when we're done. So here we are, Indigo. Let me show you how this works. There are lots and lots of predefined themes, and by including the link to the Indigo style sheet, and then by giving elements these classes, these HTML elements can be assigned these classes, we can assign different shades of indigo. And then let's say if we get tired of having a blue site and we want to have a green site, we just change that to green. And it's extremely efficient way of changing the look of your whole site. So I would encourage you to try this. Now there's even more you can do with themes. They even have gradients to them. Let's have a look at what those look like. So there's a gradient, and you can see that it's darker at the bottom, lighter at the top. So that's quite nice. I just need to use the theme gradient, and we're going to go from a dark to a light. There may be other things you can do as well. Let's have a look at this. Theme cyan. Okay, so these are other themes. Maybe we can link to those in ours. Let's try that. Let's try changing it to cyan, which is a kind of blue. Ah, that didn't work. Okay, so we were only able to access the themes from the top of the page. Let's go back to those themes again. So these are different ones that we have to actually link to this style sheet. We could use these if we like. We would just need to take this code here, this CSS. We'd need to copy that. We'd want to put it into a style sheet, and then we would link to that style sheet here. But if we just include this line, we may only use the color themes which are specified at the top here. There is a pink one. Okay, the reason it hasn't changed here is because I haven't defined my colors in terms of those themes. Now, I want to have a dark background at the top, just like we have here. So to go to the color themes, let's go to the green one. Now if I want to have a dark bit at the top, I'm going to use this class here, copy, and I'm going to paste that in here. Oops, I need to change my theme back to green. And I'm going to have my footer, the same theme I think, or maybe we'll go even slightly darker for the footer. So we're just assigning the class, quite like that, and we'll go back and we'll select a lighter theme for the header, or for the content area, sorry. Let's try this, theme L4 for the content area. Okay, and I could even use a theme for my menu bar. Let's use something like this, theme L5, so a very light colour behind the menu bar. I'm just replacing this with that, and now we have a nice green menu bar as well. Okay, so I'm not a great graphics designer, but I do like the fact that you can just change it and explore different options by just changing a single word. Now we'd have even more control if we were using, if we want to change the colour of our whole site, we have to do this on every page. But I think that's pretty good. And we could also change the colours of our menu at items by doing this. Hover orange. We can just simply change that to a pink, and notice what happens here. When we hover over that, it's now pink. Okay, that'll do for now. Thanks for watching.